What's up, family? Look at me in my alfalfa. But anyway, I'm here to talk to you about something I saw in the news that really, I don't know if it bugged me. I thought about it, I found it would be humorous initially, but it became a lot deeper than that. You heard about the Reverend that got robbed in his church, and I'm talking about robbed at 11 o'clock in the morning. Now, the sermon started at 10, but they came in at 11 and they robbed him and his wife. Now, what really caught my attention about this, more than you went into a house of worship to rob somebody, because the first thing I thought was First Sunday, but anyway, the thing that caught my attention most was how much they stole. It was initially put out they stole $1 million in jewelry. But the thing is, they stole it from the preacher and his wife. Okay, listen to that again. $1 million worth of jewelry from two individuals. These are not NBA individuals. This is a husband and wife that run a church. Now, that is bad within itself, but the whole idea that you walked into the house of God and you robbed the minister, and then you robbed the minister when he came in full-fledged, all jewelried out, Jay-Z done, with everything on. I had to be every piece of jewelry in this doggone cabinet. $1 million? Anyway, when everything came around, I said, let me go ahead and let me do some more in-depth research, because this, on the top of it, it didn't sound right. So I said, you know what, let me go look. And as I delved deeper into the rabbit hole, I opened Pandora's box. And I'm going to be honest with you, I have been in Pandora's box all day today. This dude, he's just a normal dude. Okay, let me see where I can start. His name was Lamar Miller Whitehead. Okay, he's a bishop. He got ordained by the Episcopalian Church, I guess. So, now, it would be interesting if it was just him getting robbed and that would be the end of that. But no. He has historical ties. The thing is, he was on CNN about this robbery. 40-some years ago? His dad was on CNN as well. His dad was the original I Can't Breathe man. In 1978, June 14th, his father was killed by the police in New York City, in Brooklyn, on the corner of Nostrand. I think it was Nostrand and I gotta remember the cross street. But it was down in the Eastern Park area. Now, I'm sitting here contemplating the whole idea that the police killed this man's father. That in itself is kind of crazy. Okay, your dad was on CNN for being killed by the police. You're on CNN for getting robbed for millions supposedly in jewelry. Okay, let's clean that millions up. Millions ain't millions. It's actually $400,000 from what they're saying. I read multiple reports and it's dropped to $400,000. And if you listen to a video that I'm going to try to put the link on, you will hear the preacher, the bishop himself say hundreds of thousands of dollars. So these weren't millions of dollars, but it was enough money that it made CNN. Now, I'm trying to grasp the whole idea of how this occurred. This gentleman, Bishop Whitehead, man, his story reads like, wow. From being a child, his father killed by the police, 1978, he was a baby. So he really never got to know his father. And with me, I can kind of relate to him. My dad died when I was 3, going on 4. So I relate to that whole idea of losing a parent, a single parent mom, trying to struggle and make everything work. So yeah, I can relate to him. Now, when you think about how that affected the family, with a father being killed by the police. Now, the father himself was a civic leader. The father himself was a businessman. The father himself was nowhere near, from what I can see, any kind of threat. But he was killed trying to protect his brother from getting served a warrant. All this is a crazy tie to say it came out of a robbery of a church in Brooklyn at 11 o'clock in the morning. Now, when I first heard this story, the first thing I thought about, $1 million in jury, you get robbed, okay, insurance. But then I delved deeper. This dude, okay, I can't hold him completely unaccountable. And as he said in one of his videos, he believes he knows who did this. So in other words, he was set up from Jump Street. But the idea is, and tell me if I'm crazy, you live in Brooklyn, and you gonna walk around with hundreds of thousands of dollars of jewelry? You gonna drive around in a Rolls Royce? See, there was a movie that I watched. What was it? Usual Suspect. And in this movie, what's his name? John, whatever the heck. What was this dude's name? I can't think of it to save my life. He played with Jamie Foxx, and he was the bad guy. But he told Jamie Foxx, he said, "Look, I will give you a confession if you bring me a bed, a specific type bed, well, fancy and whatever. But dude is in prison and wants this bed." And the warden at the jail told him this statement. He said, "The fact that you have is going to make the ones that don't have be just a little more pissed with you. You're putting a target on your back." What I'm saying is this. I grew up in Brooklyn. I grew up in the Bushwick area. I grew up around the East New York area. I grew up in Queens. So I have an understanding of what the hell's going on. You do not flaunt gear like that if you want it in New York City. Now, you've heard everything under the sun. I've watched multiple robberies in New York City, which are smooth as can be. This one was recorded. And you saw, he went down. And I will say one thing, he went down, as he said, to protect the people of his church, inside of his church, so they didn't become a bloodbath. With all the shootings, I can respect the aspect of not putting your family and your parishioners in peril. I am with that 110%. But the whole idea is you put them in peril when you walked out there in the gear you walked out in. I understand your plight. I understand what you went through. Your life was hard and it was rough. But that is asking for problems. Unless you believe that you were untouchable, that's asking for problems in the city of New York. We all understand. You go and do what you got to do. I mean, even basketball players, football players, all these athletic stars, they come out here and they wear their jewelry, but they also have bodyguards with them. You did not think about having a bodyguard inside the church? They came in, they ransacked. It was like one of them black exploitation movies. I'll put it like this. To see how all this went down and to find out all the things I found about where he came from, it's amazing to me. It is truly amazing. This was brought to my light and to my attention by TabithaSpeakTV. I'm going to leave her link down there and you can see, because what this initially came from was the bishop. He was defending himself against another podcast who seemed to have, to him, made light of what was going on. Made light of the fact that men came into the church with guns and held guns to his family's head. He said they had a gun to an 8-month-old baby. So, in general, I can understand him being upset. Did he lose his ordainedness? Hell yeah. This dude went straight off. He went straight gutter, lunchroom, Negro. Let's get it all up and out. Like this. You can take, I ain't even gonna say that, but let's like this one. he was not taking anything from the host of this podcast, nor the co-host of this podcast. Because, man, again, the link is going to be in the bottom. And again, Tabitha, thank you for showing this to me. She showed me the whole video almost. And this reverend, somebody said he doesn't act like a reverend, but he's a 40-some-year-old man. I'm 52 and I'm still learning how to be whatever. He's still learning how to be that. And y'all wouldn't expect him to be okay with having a gun put to your face. That's a violation. That violates your mind, that violates your body, that violates your spirit. I've been there. I've had a gun at the back of my head when I was 12. This brother stole my bus pass. He stole my $12 that I had in my pocket. He stole my coat. Now, for anybody who know me, and you went to school with me, you know about this. You remember this. So I understand the idea of being robbed and feeling violated. I understand that you put this man in a position where he couldn't even defend his family. So yeah, he felt some kind of way about it. And then the fact that you seem to be making light of it. And when I saw the video, there were parts of that video where there was no sympathy or empathy for what went down. Yes, a lot of it was alleged because you couldn't see it off in the video, but the whole idea of everything that's happened lately, you should have had just a little sympathy for this man. Bitch, Tad, I know he's supposed to be rich, but still. Oh, you know what? I got to come back with part 2 on this one. Because when I tell you some things that I found out also, it's going to make you, I guess, think twice again. But, hey, that's what I'm here for. Let's think 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Peace, my brothers.